Yes, but we live in different times, bro.
Big man, I was just about getting kisses on cheeks from girls when I was in year 6.
Kiss chase.
I don't know why you keep...
And not always catching them.
Nah, because he's to run fast, innit? Fucking... That little dickheads. He's to hold R1, innit? Fucking... He's to hold R1 for dear life, bro. Like when I catch you...
Wait, did you ever play Kiss Chase where they chased you?
Yeah.
Did you like slow down on purpose?
Catch me, yo, I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
Did you trip?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie,
Yo, I tripped a couple
hamstring.
I tripped a couple times, man.
Kiss
Chase is wild.
Kiss Chase was wild, though. Kiss Chase was a wild game.
Kiss Chase was a wild game.
I said, where you going? With like Scorpion, get over here. Kiss Chase was wild, bro. What?
Oh, man.
I say you tripped down, but we're not
I
bypassing.
scratched my knee a couple times,
We're not
falling over
bypassing.
on purpose.
Yo,
bro.
Pete said he fell on purpose.
Bro, a
Kiss
couple
Chase.
times.
Swear.
And it was those melodramatic ones. Like, you know Prince, you know the sound that Prince makes when he's like, when he does
ACO. Yo, my ACO.
Prince has this sound that he makes on certain tracks.
Well, you're out for 9 months.
Fam, I said he told me this because fam, I used to slip like Gerard. No, never mind.
Hey,
never
relax.
Never mind.
Too fussy. Why you gotta do that?
I don't know. You know that. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Because I said it. Yeah. As soon as he came about, I was like, whoa. Where did I go here?
What's going on, world? Welcome to episode 25 of the Rhymes Like Dimes podcast with your boys Mo,
Yep.
Peter,
What's good?
and myself, Yummy. Episode 25, guys. How we doing?
We're good, man. We're here, man. God is good.
All the time.
All the time, God is good.
Amen. How's things going, guys?
Hey, man,
How
I'm
we
breathing.
been? Breathing.
I'm breathing.
That's it.
You heard that song? Breathing. Breathe. Who was that?
What song?
Hey, breathing.
This is where you deep
breathe
into,
out.
This is where you
breathing.
dig into your like big category of like songs that you know
No, who was it?
that no one else does.
I remember it was in You Got Served.
Oh, Fat Man Scoop.
That's who it was. That fat bastard. Fam. There we go, fam. There we
In
go.
2020, you're singing a Fat Man Scoop
I
song.
don't know why it came into my because I like we breathing in it. Breathing. No, anyway. I remember the other song, Breathe, Stretch, Shake.
No, I don't.
No, he's his favourite artist of all time, fam. Yeah, breathe, stretch, shake.
Oh, Mace.
And there we go.
Gosh, Mace.
Nah, but yeah, I'm good, man.
Guys, how's your week's been?
Hey, man, just working. Same shit as always, bro.
Always.
Same shit, bro. I'm just ready for annual leave at this point.
Oh, fair enough. You take a lot of days off?
Nah, man. Just waiting for annual leave, but it's not one coming up in it, so.
Oh, sweet.
Not really. My life's kind of boring.
You always say this.
It really is. You guys know that.
Jazz it up then.
Nah, I'm good for. Some people are happy with boring lives.
good to
He
live
has
boring.
recently, but you know,
I'm,
off the pod.
I'm good for a boring. I'm good for a boring life. I don't know why I need to jazz. I said, Bruce. No, I'm alright. I like my boring life. Go work, go home.
What about you, Pete?
It's been a good week, man.
Sure has.
Could have said the same about you two.
Yeah, I've just been working, man.
I call that
That's it, really.
I call that Yemi.
Putting in work.
That's it, really. Man. I wanted to.
These laughs from Yemi are disgusting.
I was trying to schedule in to go and watch Slim and Queen and Slim.
Queen and Slim, yeah.
I haven't got around to it yet. But
I watched that on Valentine's Day.
was it good? Oh yeah, how was you man's Valentine's Days?
It was good, man.
It was the 14th of February.
Feel you? Yeah, me.
Yeah, it was cool. I went to my girl's workplace, delivered her some flowers.
Oh, you
romance.
delivered it yourself?
I delivered it myself.
Oh, kill him.
Yes.
Oh, what kind of flowers? What kind of flowers?
Yo, she's
you guys,
you see what she tweeted me?
Yes, I did, and I loved.
I was dying.
I loved.
Yo, what
I
kind of
loved
flowers?
it.
What kind of flowers?
They
Just,
were-
just so people know what levels you're
They
saying.
were a bouquet of roses.
A bouquet?
Red and white roses from Sage Flowers. Shout out to Sage Flowers.
Oh, shout out to Sage.
Shout out to Sage. And yeah, did that, and then we went and saw Queen and Slim. It's all right. It's not like amazing. I think it's filmed great, but the actual story and stuff, like, it's okay. It's nothing crazy. Fair enough.
I'm still gonna check it out.
Yeah, check it out by all means. But yeah, it was all right.
You're gonna ask me what I did for Valentine's Day?
What did you do for Valentine's
Absolutely
Day?
nothing.
You didn't even let me get my
I
question
chilled.
out.
I was on my couch alone, and yeah, that was it.
So you didn't feel at all unhappy?
No, I felt extremely happy.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
Thank you very much, sir. Why didn't you let me make you a playlist? I wanted to make someone a playlist.
For what?
Just for all like the lovers out there. I just wanted to,
What we can Valentine's playlist?
yeah.
I mean, I was out most of the day, so I don't know when I've been able to use this playlist.
Oh, okay.
But also, like, I've
it.
seen the playlists that you make on my Spotify.
Yeah, but those of like for particular people.
This would have been for what? Just a regular schmegular?
No, for like, Valentine's occasion.
Yeah, keep it.
Let me get in my Valentine's bag.
You can still make one.
Yeah, just rename it romance or something.
Yeah, but who's going to listen?
Someone,
People.
Someone.
not me. Anyone gonna ask me how my week was?
No.
How was your
Well,
week?
I'm gonna tell you anyway. So last Saturday, I get an email from one magazine, The Face, and they're like, "Yo, we want you to do a piece interviewing the director of urban music at YouTube. But before that, you're invited to this YouTube brunch that he's holding the next day." I was like, "Calm, go to the YouTube brunch."
All right, now we're talking.
The whole industry's there. I'm talking. I met Jorja Smith,
Oh,
hugged her even.
ooh.
No, wait. Yo, any listeners?
Let me finish.
It is what it is, bruv.
Huh?
So if I said to anyone listening, well, it's the first time we're hearing this story as well.
Yes,
So this is real life reactions.
exactly.
So you met Jorja Smith.
Met Jorja Smith.
What she smell like?
Huh?
What she smell like?
She smelled.
Sure.
She looked great.
Someone.
She said, what did she smell like?
Yo, someone chat to Mohammed, man.
Well, to quote Peter, she smelled divine.
Did she smell divine?
She smelled divine.
Just as I expect.
I also met Burna Boy as well.
Yo, who is Yemi fam?
Had a conversation with him as well because he was with Steph London, and his music was playing. Everyone was turning up and that, and I was next to him like by chance. So I was one of the times like, "Yo, do you find it weird hearing your music like out?" And he was like, he looked at me and was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And then we just dapped and kept it moving. So I count that as a conversation.
That's definitely a conversation.
Sound guy. Bare other people there, man. I saw like AJ Tracy, novelists, some drill guys, like industry people that aren't rappers or musicians. Like it was just lit, and it was good. It was good vibes, man. It was very, very good vibes. So that was like the first proper like. It was kind of like the UK Rock Nation brunch in a sense, because there was just loads of people. Yeah, exactly. It was just loads of people there that obviously aren't to that level, but if it was like a UK version, that would have been it.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it was dope.
What was the occasion?
The occasion was, so it was the Excellence Brunch. So it was basically celebrating Black British excellence.
It literally was Rock Nation brunch.
Oh, I like that.
Black British excellence, essentially. So, it was,
So did you meet the YouTube thinker?
yes, his name is Chuma Bassa. Shout out to Chuma Bassa. He's a very sound guy. He's originally from, he's got Rwandan parents. He was raised in Zimbabwe and the States. He's based in New York now. And he's just he's a massive hip hop head as well. So we just chopping it up about hip hop and just about YouTube generally.
Tell him to stream the pod.
I didn't tell him to stream the pod, but I did get a link to the YouTube. So in due course, we'll be able to hopefully do things.
Swear.
Not swear, but they know who I am.
Fuck that, you met Jorja, bro.
Well, yeah, going back to the Jorja Smith thing, like, how did you, man, like, come to hugging and that?
Yeah, how did
So-
it get to hugging?
I have a friend.
Do you know what it means to be on a hug basis with like a Georgia? I'm just saying.
The fact she's real, stop.
Yeah. So I was with a friend of mine just chilling at the brunch, and she was like,
Hold on. So where were our invites?
"Big man, I got the invite the day before.
I would have come. I would have dropped
I
everything.
still would have dropped everything.
You would have dropped everything."
I would've dropped
What day
everything.
Actually, Eki was meant to come, and then very last minute on the day she couldn't.
What day was it?
And that was like an hour before.
What day
What day
was
was
it?
it?
Last Sunday.
I would have, I was even off. Nah, safe.
What do you mean?
I would have rolled. P, would you have rolled?
I was only allowed.
Yeah.
I was only allowed 1+1, and she dropped out within the hour of me going there. So
Where was it?
it was in 14 Hills Restaurant in Fenchurch Street, a very fancy place.
That's about an hour away from me.
Wow, if you,
Yeah, fam. Dropped that hour. I would have been there in an hour.
I didn't want to inconvenience you guys because I would have admit it would have been very last minute.
I probably wouldn't have come.
Exactly. This is what I mean. That's why I said.
I'm never gonna lie to you.
I
Man.
mean, exactly.
You man know me, man. I'm not really. That's not my
you would have
scene,
been,
innit?
You would have been overwhelmed. 100%.
Yeah, that's not my scene.
'Cause even me, I was like,
Yeah, if he saw
cool.
Burner, he would have got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Why Burner?
It's you.
I love Burner, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think if
I
you
don't
see
think
Burner-
he's overwhelming me. Who else
Out
was
of
there?
everyone there, I think Burner would
Wait,
have.
who else was there first
Fair people, man.
that we would care for?
Was Burner the biggest artist?
One of them, yeah. So Burner, Jorja, AJ Tracy, novelist.
How did you get to hugging Jorja, bro?
So I have a friend who knows Jorja, and she was like, "Yo, I'll introduce you to her." And then I didn't even expect her to come. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Jorja." She just reached forward, and I was like, "All right, cool." I mean, and
Was Stormzy there?
Stormzy was not there. He was meant to be there. He was on the guest list.
Was my jammer there?
No, she was not there. Okay. So that was Sunday.
Head start would have cracked him.
Yeah, pretty much. He was on the guest list though, but the Sugar Babes were there. Like the original
Oh,
Sugar Babes.
Keisha.
Keisha was there. Mucha was there.
She
I
looks
love Keisha.
Keisha was there. She ain't aged a bit.
Yo, I love Keisha.
Yeah,
Sugar
man.
Babes.
Sugar Babes.
I even forgot what their song was.
They got a few.
I mean, that's not
Classics.
exaggerate now.
Yeah, Keisha's
Classics?
Like, yeah.
Round Round is a classic.
How'd that go?
I'm not gonna do that. But it is a classic.
I mean,
It's a
not
classic.
exactly.
Don't worry about that. So that was Sunday. Tuesday now comes.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. Tuesday, the day of the Brits, yeah. And shout out to Stormzy and Dave who won awards. Dave won Best British Album,
Yeah.
and they
Thoroughly deserved.
Thoroughly deserved, and Stormzy won Best British Male.
Thoroughly deserved.
So on the day of the Brits, I interviewed Tuma. Was cool. He speaks at like £1 million an hour, and then
Like Mohammed.
yeah, and then after the Brits, me and Eki went to the Since '93 after party, and I saw.
You went to the Brits after party.
I went to the Brits after.
you go
party.
to
Your social life is popping, bruv.
Wait,
It isn't though. It really isn't.
No, it is, though.
No,
That's
the
you go to the
thing.
Brits. Here's the thing. It's not.
Did you go to the Brits?
I didn't go to the
Because
Brits.
we was gonna fight if you went to the Brits.
No, I didn't go to the Brits.
You went to the Brits
Yo,
after
when I'm
party.
older, I want to be like you, man.
Big man.
Big man, wait, you went to the Brits? How was
Look,
that?
Look. The last week, my social life has been.
No.
But generally, no.
How did you get into the Brits after party?
For Eki.
Wait, you went to the Brits after party?
A Brits after party. 'Cause there was loads.
The
of
main
them.
one?
There was no. So basically, all the major labels have their after party.
Okay.
Artists have their after parties, and we went to a Since '93, which is a sub label of Sony. So they had their party, which was an amazing party apparently last year that everyone was at. So we went this year. I saw Marlon Harewood.
West Ham.
Nottingham
West
Forest.
Ham. West Ham, Marlon
Nottingham
Harewood.
Forest, yes. And I saw Rian Brewster.
Oh, bro.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest, yeah. I saw Michael Ward, Top Boy,
Top boy.
yeah. Just it was like industry part 2 essentially. Fredo H, Stormzy came for a bit. The whole urban scene, man.
Who do you think you are, fam?
Bro, it was
No,
just this week.
Yemi's elevated.
It was just this week.
Yemi's elevated.
I'm
Yemi's
not,
gone
though.
clear.
I haven't.
Yo,
I
big
haven't
man, you
gone
hugged
clear.
Jorja Swift. Don't at
I haven't gone clear.
Big man, don't
I
at
haven't
me.
gone clear.
Big man, don't at me. You've hugged Jorja Swift.
haven't
You spoke to
gone clear.
Burner Boy. You're a different level right now. I'm trying to get like you.
Hey man.
Hey, man.
But that's why I wanted to not tell you guys.
No, you're
in the group chat or
different.
anything.
You're different.
Just I wanted to hear your reaction.
No, you're different, bro. Do you know what it's to hug Jorja Swift? That's a great week, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man, you had a busy one.
It was all right still.
Now that's a week.
That was definitely a week.
Like, don't ask me about my week and then expect me to be telling you something when I just go to work and come home.
You had that in the tuck, fam. No, you're a dickhead. You had that in the tuck.
I
no?
did.
You know what's mad? This guy had in the tuck a hug Jorja Swift. I'm
A whole week. A whole week.
I might have even spoken to him on Sunday.
Bruh, we speak every day in this group chat. At no point did he want to tell me that girl smelled like
I was
heavenly
I was
roses.
close to telling you guys on Sunday though, and then I thought, wait, let me save it for the pod.
This guy, at no point did he want to mention that.
Yeah, I'd prefer that. Just
You
say
smelled Jorja Swift. I'm a dickhead, fam. I'm a dickhead, bro. And you asked me, how are you on Monday? Knowing the day
Did I?
before you smell that woman that smells like heavenly roses, fam. Just rose petals. Bro, I think he even posted on Insta you was at some industry thing.
Yes, I did. That
I
was
was
the
going to
brunch.
ask you.
That was the brunch.
I was going to ask you, what are you doing?
I probably would have told you there and then.
Something told me, no, let me hold off. And this is why. You see how God works in mysterious ways, fam? Because this bastard's out here smelling Jorja Swift's neck.
It wasn't on her neck. It was more her hair.
That's
But
enough for
I
me,
feel you.
man.
Well, after that elongated intro, let's get into the first topic, guys.
Fucking meet Jorja
So,
Smith, bro, smelling her neck.
So
proud of you.
something also happened on Saturday, yeah. Stormzy and Wiley. They flipping resumed their beef. It got to a point where Stormzy basically challenged Wiley to a clash on radio there and then.
Respect.
And Wiley basically said, you know I'm at the country, why are you doing these tricks? I'm not gonna fall for your tricks, this, that, and the other.
He went to go visit his mum.
Went to go visit his mum in Cyprus, allegedly. And the internet went mad because people were just saying like, yo, if you're already grime, if you're already about it, you would do it. Like, stop hiding, stuff like that. And Wiley just kept going on and on and on, trying to expose Stormzy's DMs, trying to send for other people and stuff like that. And it's just a continuation of the beef. So it all looked very moist, basically. He was made out to look like a very moist man. So I guess the question I want an answers to is, with all of these beefs that have pretty much been non-stop since the start of the year and the end of last, is Wiley the godfather of grime, Esky boy, the reason why everybody's here,
Is he-
tarnishing his legacy
Oh.
with his activity?
Short answer, yes. I feel like I'm gonna get into the long answer.
Yeah.
Just the short answer being yes. I feel like he's, how can I put it? Like, there's a whole generation that didn't know who Wiley was. I feel like just naturally. So if you're a legend, there's a certain way you walk. There's a certain way you carry yourself. And with Wiley, Wiley carries himself. I've never seen a legend carry himself like Wiley. Like, at one point, I think it was every other week, Wiley was sending for someone else, sending for someone else, sending for someone else. And then with Wiley's always, I don't know if you remember like 3-4 months ago, Wiley's main thing was, yo, let's clash. Cool, you've come from that. You started this shit. Cool. Now you've got someone who beat the fuck out of you when you go back and forth. Like mollywopped you.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Let's relax.
Mollywop.
Let's take a step back. Let's breathe.
Sorry.
Right.
He
Fatality'd you.
It
Babyality, animality, cruelty, all the motherfucking alities in Mortal Kombat.
But it wasn't that though.
Yes, it was. Because you know why it was that? You don't even deep it. This is what I deep.
What don't we deep?
This is what you don't deep. Because I didn't think he got mollywopped. Do you know what I decided he got mollywopped? When my man was really in Cyprus 5 days ago. And I said, yeah. Because my man said, your mom's in. Because I didn't even believe that bit. And then last week he actually was in Cyprus. That plays into the diss again.
But he lives in Cyprus. He's got a house in Cyprus.
Does he? No, but I thought he lived in the UK and he was just out in Cyprus.
He's in and out.
Well, I take it to believe that he was with his mum.
And?
Which adds to that bar 1,000 times more, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, but if him
How?
being in Cyprus anyway.
Because if your mum legit got chased out to Cyprus, you look wild.
You don't know the reasons as to why she's living there.
I'm just saying.
He said it's not true. He said she's in a Pret in
I mean,
Bethnal Green.
Then it depends on whose opinion you take.
Bro, Nas said that Jay was taking fucking taekwondo.
I just said
we
to
don't
you,
know that.
I just said to you, I don't know if it's true or not. However, you being in Cyprus leads me to believe, me being me, that potentially it's true.
He did lose the war.
He got mollywopped.
He lost the war because he brought a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah,
and what I
he
mean
did.
by that is he brought old school methods of clashing into a new age where you need moments, you need punchlines,
you need the one-liners,
memorable things that people are going to remember the clash for, the song for, things that are going to embarrass your opponent. All he did was try to bar Stormzy, and he didn't really do it. He didn't even do that amazingly.
Stormzy won the bars as well.
I don't know if he won the
I
bars.
think Stormzy won the bars as well. I don't know.
Because Wiley's always going to be a better MC.
Yeah, but I don't think Wiley had any. I can't remember any quotable from his diss to Stormzy.
He didn't have anything for him.
I don't remember any quotables from Stormzy. I don't think either one was that amazing.
I can remember Terminal 4.
G-Check Cadell.
Yeah, Terminal 4.
Mum in Cyprus.
Yeah. That's literally like, you still remember 3.
Those are all you need. Yeah, those are all you need, really.
Like, Terminal 4 was trending.
It's like you're hiding a child.
Yeah, like, that's enough. But anyway, yeah, so...
But wait, hold on. You said something. You said that there's a whole generation that don't know Wiley. What generation is that?
Don't Wiley. I feel like... Don't know Wiley. But they don't know Wiley for music. I feel like there's
what
a generation
is
now.
that?
I feel like the generation... That's about like 17 and under. That's the 10-year gap from us.
When you're talking about that generation, you got to give me artists that kind of represent that gen. Because I'm not really understanding.
So take, for example, Stormzy's core fans.
White kids.
Yeah. Or like their age range. Like the 21s and 22s.
I don't doubt that they probably have heard of Wiley now.
I feel like they know more Wiley for Twitter than they do for music.
They probably know him for the beef.
I feel like that's what I'm saying. I feel like Stormzy's following is a generation that's younger than us. Do we agree on that?
Yeah.
They're a different generation to us. And I feel like that generation doesn't know Wiley for music. They now know Wiley for Twitter rants. Guy mad every 5 minutes. The war that you had with Stormzy. So when you lost that war, you already look kind of sweet, but people lose every day, is what it is. Then the second thing, when you just keep coming on Twitter every day, you're now looking like you're holding on to a grudge that's no longer there. And then I feel like when you started this, and the main thing you was asking for 3 months ago was a clash, and then the guy tells you, yo, you've got 5 days. You're in Cyprus now, cool. You've got 5 days, come back, let's do this. And you're making excuses, asking for Eddie Hearn, which doesn't even make sense to me.
O2, I'm trying to make money.
Yeah, like you're asking for Eddie Hearn, O2. Big man, Eddie Hearn went around 10, 15 years ago, because the one thing Wiley always talks about is back in the day. He loves talking about back in the day. Eddie Hearn went around back in the day. We used to do this shit. Well, not me personally, but you know what I mean. He used to have 2 mics, because he couldn't afford the headless things. So he used to get 2 mics, and used to just go back and forth. That's when I saw Crazy Teacher and Dizzy Rascal stop doing it, and they went outside to have beef sometimes. But my point being is, back in the day, there was 2 mics, and that's all I cared about. So louder Eddie Hearn, louder O2, you like talking about back in the day so much. A man's told you, come, you've got 5 days, come, let's just do this and end it. You've now backed out of that. There's no comeback from that, in my opinion.
I completely disagrey with that.
How?
And I'm not even.
So I
don't want to sound like a Wiley apologist because I'm not. I'm not a massive fan of Wiley like that. But bruv, if Wiley weren't in the country, what do you man want him to do?
He's got 5 days. Is that not enough?
How do we? We don't even know what his plans were. What if he was there for like 2 weeks to spend time with his mum?
But the same way Stormzy,
we don't know if his mum's there.
But the same way,
we don't even know why he was there.
Listen, Wiley said he was.
How do you man don't know that like Stormzy was very strategic with it? Where?
But let me give you this. Let me just.
That's a possibility.
No, but this is my counter argument now. The same way Wiley sent for Stormzy dropped everything he was doing and sent back, right? Within 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a show of intent.
Mhm.
Stormy said, yo, you got 5 days, you could pick the radio station. I think that's enough.
5 days from when exactly?
From the day he sent that tweet saying, yo, let's go back and forth.
And that was
Let's-
last Saturday.
That was last Saturday. It's gone down now.
I mean, he said he's back in the country for Brits Week because he was on tour. He was on his world tour. So, in a sense, maybe he is strategic because he has to work it around his schedule. And he picked a time when
he's back in UK.
whether he knew Wiley was going to be away or not, he chose that time because that was the time that he had. Whether he knew Wiley was going to be away is another thing entirely. But Wiley was the one that started it. So the winner is now dictating. Stormzy is dictating the terms. Because that's kind of how it can run. You know what I'm saying? So with that, Wiley does look a bit foolish.
Is Wiley back in the country?
I have no clue.
I ain't got a clue. Wiley could be in.
But it's also the fact of not even outside of Stormzy, like he's sending for mad people, and like Nole sent for him, and all he does is laugh it off. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he's picking battles that he doesn't either he's not ready for, he's not prepared for, or he just didn't really anticipate.
That's his fault though.
And
He
it's his fault.
handpicked Stormzy. He handpicked Stormzy to have a war with. I think it was a marketing plan. That's just my opinion. But he handpicked Stormzy. Out of everyone rapping that, he said, I want Stormzy. Sent for him for like months on months. Made a track. Stormzy came back. You came back. Stormzy fatality you. We move on. You continue doing Twitter. Stormzy said, all right, let's just clash. Let's do what you want. Because the one thing you've asked for more than anything else has been a clash. That's literally what you've been asking for a year now. So let's do it. And if you don't do it, that's not on Stormzy. Stormzy's doing a world tour. I've given you 5 days, big man. You could... You make enough money to fly back.
But again, it goes back to Peter's point about Stormzy being strategic because
Is that his
Wiley has
fault,
been
though?
asking for time and time and time for a clash. And I guess he felt like it got to a point where, okay, cool, you don't want to do it. So if you do want to do it, I'm going to up the ante. I'm going to get Eddie Hearn. I'm going to get O2,
But then
all that
it's
stuff.
not-
Which
but
is a
then-
problem in itself because he's letting a stranger into the culture.
And he acts like he's the gatekeeper for
and-
so long.
But he's accusing Stormzy of doing that with Ed
that's
Sheeran.
what- yeah.
So that's another issue as well.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Like you,
Yeah, it's another issue.
you
But
begging
Stormzy
Eddie
said that.
Hearn. Like,
Stormzy
what's-
said it as well.
Yeah, what's the biggest thing you've been arguing? The biggest thing you've been getting onto Stormzy about was Ed Sheeran. So what are you trying to get Eddie Hearn involved for?
Eddie Hearn has no stake in this culture. Whereas at least
Nothing.
Ed Sheeran...
Do you think he was being very serious about that?
I think he was.
About it O2.
I
Yeah.
think he was.
He kept doing
I
it.
think
He kept
was.
saying it.
Yo, like he was not bantering that.
He literally kept saying it. He kept
"Let's do
hashtagging
O2."
it.
Like, yo, you've sold out O2. Let's bang O2. And then Stormzy was like, you're not going to sell out O2 at the back of my name, which makes sense. But if the one thing you've been arguing about has been the culture,
He just looks silly.
the fuck are you trying to get Eddie Hearn involved
silly.
for? What are you trying to sell some tickets? Bang YouTube Live, get 2 mics and go back and forth.
Live stream that bitch.
That's simple, fam. You Twitch if you want.
You know what? I might be an anomaly here, but I feel as though I like what Wiley's doing. I feel as though he's an elder statesman in the culture, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to test your pen against, the next young big star from a generation after you. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, now, people might disagree with how he's doing it, but him doing it isn't wrong. The point he's raising whilst trying to do that isn't necessarily crazy either. I think we're completely getting muddled up by the chaos around it and looking past what he's actually trying to do. What he's doing is actually good for the culture. It's bringing some excitement, and we're from a culture of a competitive nature.
I'm the best.
There's nothing wrong with that. So to your original question, depending on how you look at it, he might be ruining his legacy, but his legacy is so big, I don't think this will be that much of a blemish.
Do you think he can do anything that at this point that tarnishes his legacy?
He's just talking now, isn't it? He's just talking. But that's just Wiley, though.
Issue, though.
Well, that's
the-
the-
This is why I feel as though people are misconstruing this a bit, because this ain't nothing new.
Wiley's always been-
Wiley's clashed everybody.
I agree with you.
And this is his tactic. This is what he does. He pokes at you to get a reaction. He
he starts
annoys
laughing.
he annoys the fuck out of you.
Yeah, he's a troll.
He's clashed Gets, Dirty Dogs, scored everybody.
Kano.
This ain't nothing new. So why is this all of a sudden going to be
Because it's a new form
the
of trolling.
thing that
it's a
ruins
new,
his legacy?
Because it's a new form of trolling. There was never Twitter before.
Because
so
you
the
got
trolling wasn't in your face the way it
think
is
about it
today.
this way, though, as well. Like, Wiley came from grime. Stormzy came from grime. Wiley is giving Stormzy shit for essentially commercializing grime with Ed Sheeran, something he had already done with Wearing My Rolex, Heatwave, all that stuff. People will argue that he had to do that because grime isn't making much money at the time. He's pushing the sound. But that's exactly what Stormzy's doing as well. Even if you're not a fan of the music, and even if it's not out and out grime, it's a grime artist or someone who came from grime expanding his artistry, expanding his sound, even if it's not grime. He's accusing Stormzy of stuff he's been done. He's a hypocrite in that sense.
Yeah, but he did what Stormzy is doing after he took grime as far as he felt he could have taken it. What he's accusing Stormzy of is putting out 1-2 grime tunes and then busting off and doing something else, and then trying to come back in and leverage what those that have already been in grime trying to hold it up have been doing for God knows how long.
What do you mean?
So Stormzy came out with the Shut Up freestyle, right?
Yeah.
That's what kind of made him blow.
Yeah, kind of.
He did that, and then I guess he went off and started doing more of the poppier stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Thing is though,
And then he came.
not really.
No?
No, not really. I
he,
think
had, he came up on
really.
grime. He had like a
Yeah,
grime.
I
He
would
had
say-
like Dreamer's
yeah.
Disease. That was a grime EP essentially.
Then he had Wicked Skate
And then
Grime.
that had Where Do You Know Me From? That's grime.
Wicked
And then
Skate
Shut
Grime
Up
part
came
four,
up.
Shut Up came
And
out.
that's when he started doing more. Him being
So what he's criticizing Stormzy for isn't new. People been talking about it. He's accusing him of essentially being a bit of a plant and being a bit of a culture vulture. This isn't new. So
But
I
is
don't
it true,
understand.
though?
I mean, we've discussed this on here. You man feel like some people felt like, yo, Storms was a plant.
But
So what Wiley's saying isn't that crazy?
But culture vulture is
But when you look at it from this perspective of someone who's actually done that as well.
I don't think Stormzy can be a culture vulture.
that's my point, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's
I
completely
disagree with
different.
that. But is he a plant though? And that's what Wiley's getting to.
Wiley's main argument with I get what your point is.
So I don't think what he's saying is crazy.
But it's hypocritical.
But
That's
Wiley's
all.
done
Why is it
similar,
hypocritical?
'cause Wiley-
Because he did the exact same
Wiley's
thing.
made pop songs.
How?
Just because Wiley made more grime tunes than Stormzy before he went pop doesn't mean he's more grime.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
How
'Cause
does
they're
it
both
not?
doing the same thing.
How many pop songs did Wiley make?
Quite a few actually.
No, he didn't, bro. Come
Yes,
on.
he
man.
did.
How many?
Bro, he had albums of pop songs. Not all of him, but he
Wiley
had
made a few
pop
Yeah,
songs,
but this
bro.
was an era where grime was done.
Allegedly.
It was dead, man.
So because it was dead,
Bro, Chip had gone, but tried to bust out to America.
Wait, so
Wretch and them man weren't doing much. They were like on the underground. Scorch weren't doing much.
theory's the same.
Kano was
So
making
because it was
like
dead, wait, so
Method to the Madness,
Yeah,
which
but the
weren't
theory-
great.
but the theory.
So
Grime
because
was dead.
So wait, because it was dead, Wiley was allowed to stop doing it.
No, but like you man are acting as though Wiley was the only one that was venturing out.
I never said that. But we said he was
The
one of
the
them.
whole of boy better know
No,
we're
but he was
doing
one
that.
of them.
But what I'm saying is, out of all the ones that did it, he did it the least. So you
But he
man-
still did
I
it.
don't- Yeah, but you can't compare what he did to what Stormzy's doing now, though.
But he still did it.
But you cannot compare what he's doing to what Stormzy's did or is doing. You can't. I don't think
we
it's even
giving- but-
close.
but are we-
Let me ask you a question. If
Stormzy's
Wiley-
way
if
popular.
Wiley-
Do you feel
if
like you're
Wiley's
giving him allowance because he is the Godfather?
Um,
You think because he's an OG?
I've got a question for you, though.
Possibly.
Yemi. If Wiley's commercial songs blew as much as Stormzy's has, do you not think Wiley would have continued doing commercial songs?
Yeah, he would have. Of course he would have.
how many grime songs does
then-
Stormzy make?
Grime.
Per
Yes.
album?
Album? I'll say about 4.
I'd probably say a quarter.
About
A
4,
quarter.
5?
A quarter to... Yeah, a quarter.
Yeah, it's about 4.
Probably, a
I'll give
quarter
it
of his
about 4,
albums
5.
are probably grime more time.
That's enough,
I
though.
mean, I don't necessarily
For me.
think... And I do think it's because we're giving special dispensation to Wiley because he is the Godfather, because he felt he's the one who's been in the trenches from day dot. But at the same time, he's still gone and done that. Of course, there was an era where grime was allegedly dead and Chip was doing it. BBK were doing it. DZ was doing it. Fine, that's cool. But you can't then criticize other people for doing it because you've done it.
Yeah, but I feel like what Wiley's getting at is the fact that Stormzy doesn't need to do what he's doing now.
But he wants to though, because he's that way inclined.
And then Wiley's allowed to call him out for it, no?
Of course, but you got to look at what you've done in the past as well. You can't throw a, what's the saying? Like, can't throw shit at a glass house. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Because even if Stormzy came from a grime background, that was what he was influenced by. That's what he wanted to do at the beginning. But then he also wants to be an artist. And maybe as a grime artist, there's not as much room for growth. And maybe there's other things you want to express. The same way Wiley did with Heatwave and all the other electro shit. So I just think it's a bit hypocritical for Wiley to say that. Just because he's the Godfather don't mean he's immune from being called out for that shit. Now, in relation to...
But that's not all Wiley's saying, though. Wiley's not only calling him out on that. Wiley felt slighted because of Stormzy's tune Wiley Flow. which I thought was a bit of a stretch. I feel like it was a bit.
It was a 100%
It was a reach, bro.
It was
a
reaches.
surf
That was
reach,
the
bro.
reach.
It was. I felt like it was an excuse.
was a reach.
It was an excuse in it. I feel like he just wanted to bar with him.
He definitely wanted to bar. That's
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Wiley. So then why? So that's what did you just say? So
There's nothing wrong with that.
So why when he says clash, you're disappearing?
He didn't disappear like that, though.
Okay,
man.
so what is it when you don't show up?
You ghost.
He weren't about though.
Okay, cool.
How do you know Stormzy didn't know that Wiley weren't going to be about? So he was like, you know what?
why? Because it wasn't. A,
You man are like sticking up for Stormzy too much, bro.
Bro,
I'm not
You're
even
sticking.
the
That's what we
biggest
say. You're
Stormzy
sticking up
fan.
for Wiley.
But
We're
Wiley's
not.
moving mad.
We're playing. We've seen other parts of the views. My point is, when a man called you at the clash and you look funky in the limelight, he's the godfather. I'm never gonna take away from him. The only reason I say he's diminishing his legacy is because I don't want younger people to know him. We're always gonna know Wiley for Wiley. I don't want that next generation to know him for Twitter.
But back to Wiley Flow.
We're in a different time though, bro.
But back to Wiley
So therefore,
Flow
he's
real
diminishing
quick.
his legacy then.
It's not diminishing it though, I don't think.
If the younger generation know you for Twitter,
Yeah, but they're not gonna know him for anything else. They don't. If they're not checking for his music anyway, Twitter's. If anything, Twitter's gonna make him go and check his
If
music.
Wiley just
But
gave
he's
out
also-
flowers,
but to
if
people like
Wiley
us
just gave out flowers,
who grew up with him,
flowers.
That won't be enough.
But to people who grew up on Wiley, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them who feel like he is tarnishing his legacy too. With the Wiley Flow thing,
100%,
that was a bait excuse trying to draw out Stormzy. That was homage. Clearly, that was homage. He was using Wiley's flow in Wiley Flow. How was that homage? How was that a diss?
Man took his
We've
whole-
had the same conversation about Jay and Big, and you say that's homage. It's the same thing.
Oh,
You like that one, right?
that was a comment coming hard right there, fam.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, so Wiley is, not only is he a troll, he just used it as an opportunity to go at Stormzy.
Yeah, but is he
Clearly, what?
for you? Is he diminishing his legacy? Just for you, straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he is, because you're a hypocrite.
I don't think he can diminish his legacy, man. I feel like he's done this his whole career.
He absolutely could
This ain't
diminish
nothing
his
new.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
degree of the diminishing is whatever, is another story entirely. But I feel like you're dampening what you've built when you're calling out people for doing the exact same thing, stepping out of the genre that you've done. That's all. I think if you're a grime guy who's only, if you're P Money,
So you think it's the- so-
then cool. If you're Wiley, then your opinion doesn't matter as much because you're doing the same thing.
So you think it's the reasons for him calling out Stormzy is what's diminishing his legacy.
They're whack.
Yeah.
So that's diminishing his legacy.
I think so. If anything, you were the one who made it okay to do that sort of thing, stepping out of grime. I know it was a different time, but
They're following your blueprint.
they're following the blueprint.
No, they're not. They're not following Wiley's blueprint. You man, stop it.
Did they clash diminish his
Blueprint
legacy?
of stepping
Absolutely.
out of grime. That's what we're talking about.
Wiley was like fucking. He was like 5th or 6th out of the elites to do it.
So what?
So this.
So he's hardly following Wiley's fucking blueprint.
No, you're still
He's following
just because
a
you're 5th or
blueprint.
6th. Just because
That Wiley did not start.
Yeah, but you can still follow
was
someone's
leading
blueprint for not
lights, though.
starting something.
He was not one of the leading ones
Yes,
that
he
did
was.
it.
He
Wearing my
absolutely
Rolex is probably one of
Wearing
the
My
biggest
Rolex was
songs
the
from that
biggest
era.
commercial song for a while.
Bro, when did that come though? That came after Tinchy did it. After
think it
Chip
was-
made Chip did
But
it.
it's Wiley doing
I
it
thought it was
though.
around the same time, no?
I think it was a little
No, but it's
after.
Wiley doing it. Do you see what I'm saying? It's the difference between Tinch and it's Wiley, the Godfather. So you can
Bro,
follow
but
that
you could
blueprint.
argue that them man were bigger than Wiley.
But Wiley's still Wiley. It's
means
still
more
Wiley.
because
You're
Wiley
still the
is the
Godfather.
Godfather.
Bro, we're looking at it from two different lenses. You can look at it from the lens of being within actual grime in the culture, and then you can look at it from like mass appeal. Mass appeal wise, Wiley is nowhere near as big as the people that attempted to go pop first within grime.
I agree with you.
To the people in the culture, it's different.
That's my point. Stormzy was in the culture.
Yeah, but the
So when
point
he's
is,
looking at Wiley,
yeah, but he
doing it,
weren't
it's
looking.
different
Yeah,
to-
but he wasn't looking at Wiley as one of those ones that broke down the door to like go pop.
No, but he's looking at Wiley like if he
That's
could
not
do
worse.
it,
That's
if
not
he's
worse.
looking at Wiley as if he could do it as the Godfather, I could break down that door.
Bro, I can put money on the fact that Stormzy weren't thinking, "Oh, Godfather did it. I'm gonna try."
I mean, maybe he said he. Maybe.
That's not what we're trying to suggest. We're trying to suggest that he's basically following a blueprint that even if Wiley didn't start, he had a hand in molding. That's all.
I got to disagree, man.
The whole idea of grime artists making pop music, I mean, maybe he didn't pioneer it, but he's got some of the biggest songs from that era. Wearing My Rolex is probably top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wearing My Rolex was
Come
big.
on.
Really?
Wearing My Rolex was
Bro,
big.
I'll throw my phone at your head. Wearing My Rolex was big, bro. I hate
I
that
feel
song.
like Heatwave was number 1 as well
Oh, fuck that song too. Heatwave was
in the
crap.
Rhythmic Awards.
You know what? Maybe. Do you know what it is? Maybe. Yo, Yemi's a bastard, man. Yo, maybe. Do you know what it is? Maybe because I can identify with the villain in Wiley. Maybe I just
you are a
love it.
villain.
Because you are a villain.
Yes. Yes,
sir.
I am.
See, you know it. And this is the first time you embraced it.
Maybe I'm just enjoying the fact that he's just causing so much trouble.
I used to enjoy it. But
Do you know what I'm saying?
now.
I love it. I think it's great entertainment. It's great for the
The
culture.
spectacle is great.
No, not
but
now.
His reasons are shaky.
I don't think it is now. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
bro.
it's getting a bit
I'm done with it
embarrassing
now, bro.
It's
At this
getting
point
a
now,
bit
it's like,
embarrassing.
yo, he beat you when he molly-whopped your ass.
It wasn't a molly
But I
whooping.
can relate.
Can I
can
not
relate-
have an
I-
opinion, sir?
No, you cannot.
I felt it was babyality, animality,
This guy.
and fatality.
All the alities.
Bruv, it was, remember Street Fighter?
Yeah.
When it's flawless victory. I thought it was that. It
wasn't a
Mortal
flaw.
Kombat, sorry.
Relax, it
But
wasn't a
like
flaw.
perfect victory. That's what Street Fighter say. Perfect.
Okay, we get it.
Nah, you're right. Wiley's a bit of a hypocrite. For the reasons he's going at. Still,
But I also-
he is a bit of a hypocrite.
Yeah, but I also sympathize with him because again, I'm not the biggest Stormzy fan. So when it initially happened, the beef, I was like, okay, Stormzy's gonna have to do something now because Wiley's getting a bit too loud. But Wiley, yeah, has just got to a point where if it stopped before he started ranting again, then it would have been fine. We would have forgot it. But he keeps going, and it's like, bro, you're fighting a losing battle all the time because now you just look mad.
I do think it was very strategic on Stormzy's part, though. I think it's easy just to be like, you know what? Fuck it.
No, but
drop
it wasn't-
everything,
but it didn't-
cash me.
But he didn't do that though. It wasn't
What,
like that.
Storms?
It wasn't like that. Wiley kept on sending for Stormzy. Stormzy's in the middle of a world tour. Come back for the Brits. I'm here for 5 days. Let's clash. That's not planned. It's like you sending for me. Me come back to London and be
But
like, I'm
Wiley's
here for
saying
5
that-
days. Let's go.
Yeah, but me saying, yo, drop everything, meet me here,
No, but then-
knowing that I'm not
Yeah,
around.
but if you keep sending for me
But did he
every
know,
day, every day you're
Did he know?
And then now I've got 5 days where I'm in London. I've just come back from America and I'm about to go head out to War and I've got 5 days. And I didn't know you was in Cyprus. And if I told you got 5 days, you can make your way back. If you really care the way you say you care, you can make it work in 5 days.
And we know Wiley's the type of personality where if he wants to do something impulsive,
100%.
he will. This guy don't show up to flipping video shoots just cause.
Wiley, if he, I'm not saying if he cared the way he said he cared, he can make it work in 5 days.
At this point, it doesn't really matter whether they clash or not because Wiley's already lost the war.
100%.
He's lost the battle and the war. But again, it doesn't matter because even if he is tarnishing his legacy a little bit, it's not to the degree where we're not going to look at him as an authority on grime. Because obviously he is. He's still going to be a big voice. It's just that his voice now, we're not going to be as... I don't know, me personally, I can't only speak for me. I'm not going to listen to him as much because all he does is chat shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there's a difference between being the Godfather and speaking your mind and being the Godfather and just chatting shit. And that's what he's doing right now. All he's doing is chatting shit and all this Godfather shit. Okay, cool. He's just a person. If D Double was doing the same thing that Wiley was doing, we'd be talking about him too.
Yeah, but with D Double, it's not in his character.
Yeah,
This
but
is
it's
all
just
in
an example.
Wiley's character, which is why
But
it
it's just an
doesn't.
example.
It don't do nothing for
He's
how I
always been a
see
troll.
Wiley.
It's just different on Twitter, I guess, isn't it? Because Twitter's more... We didn't have Twitter back in the day. We just knew he was a troll.
It's bloody
And
entertaining.
maybe we're able to see the reactions to
Yeah,
his
so
trolling
now
now,
it's
and
just
that's
more
what's
Twitter,
influencing
yeah.
us. But at the same time, like, it's just... It probably can't affect him. He's like Teflon, but at the same time, like, I do wish sometimes he'd stop it. And to be honest, he did use it as marketing because I think he was meant to drop an album on New Year's Day. That still hasn't come.
Yeah, keep
So
it.
he more or less dropped everything to just do Twitter fingers.
Yeah, keep it.
So even he's messing up his own flipping rollout. You know what I'm saying? So
Keep the album.
there's no real redeeming quality from any of this that he's doing. That's what I'm saying. So he slightly ruined his legacy, I think, because it's like, bro, you talk too much. You're a chatty patty. You're Twitter fingers. Shut your bitch ass up.
Bruv, you had 5 days you didn't go. It's done out here, fam.
Nah, I feel you. But look,
Yemi smelled Jorja Swift's neck in 1 day. Can you notice? Meanwhile, you had
it's
5
gonna
days.
be a running theme of the episode. We do need to know if he's back in London, though. We need to find that out.
Yo, why am I picturing Yemi sniffing Jorja
Yo,
Smith's neck?
relax,
Though?
relax.
Just
relax.
one big. You know when the rock goes,
No,
and he
don't do
looks in
that.
the air.
When he turns
You
away.
know when the rock,
No,
and he
don't do
looks
that.
in the air.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I didn't do that.
When he's listening to the millions.
Yeah, and he literally, and he just puts his nose in the air, like, and he goes like this. That's Yemi fam with Jorja
No, it's
Smith.
not.
You think Yemi inhaled when he sniffed her neck?
Big man.
Yo,
Big
left
man.
them.
He definitely took a-
Yo, and he just walked. And you know, he tried to
Yemi
walk,
looks like the type
he tried to
to
walk
give
away
like a
cool
massive inhale as well, innit?
Yo, I bet he
Yeah,
tried to
you
walk
man.
away cool. He hugged her.
You man,
he went like this.
you man,
I'll catch
Crushing.
He's like, he said something corny. I'll catch you on
you
the
man
other
acting
side.
like you man acting like I can't fight. It's mad. You man acting like I
Said
can't
Wait till I
fight.
catch on the other side.
Very corny. Just I'll catch you on the flip side. Wait a minute. What did I say?
You man acting like I can't fight.
You reckon he held on for too long when he hugged her?
Yeah, she definitely thought, what's this weirdo doing?
Yemi's definitely
Yeah,
tried to hold on for too long.
he's
innit?
just there like, okay then.
Lingering.
Yo, and she
If
just
you don't
there.
get your bitch ass off me.
people are gonna fight.
Yo, if I ever meet Jorja, I'm gonna ask her if like if my brother held on for too
when he
long.
held
Man.
you, yeah, just was it a bit? It was a second too long. I knew it.
I'm saying.
Both of you meet me outside. Anyway, shout out Wiley, man. You're never gonna stop trolling. You're never gonna stop speaking your mind. It don't mean we gotta listen. So, is what it is.
And just for the people that listen, when Rhymes Like Dan's podcast says they're here for everything Wiley's doing, I hope you guys know that's Peter tweeting that
definitely
and
Peter.
nobody else. Because we are not here for what he's doing. We don't condone what he's doing. Shut your bitch ass up.
For sure. All right, let's move on to the next topic. So, obviously, rappers are seen by their fans, by people who are in support of them, by people who might not necessarily support them as role models. People that other people can, take the way they move, their behavior, just their impact and, let it affect their own lives. But I guess what I want to know is, are rappers really role models? And if they are, what kind of role models should they be to people?
What triggered this thought?
No, man, I've always had it in my mind because I've always felt a way about people who say that public figures are role models. Therefore, they have a responsibility to their fans, people who support them and all that stuff. I've always felt a way about it because I'm like, they're just one person. Like, depending on what they do, their line of work or whatever, it's not in their control how people take them. And if people are going to take what they do as gospel as to how they should run their lives. So it's always been a thought, lingering, you might say.
It's a tricky one, man. I think to a degree, yeah. They are role models, man. Like, I think when you start assuming a position of in which you can influence people, to a certain degree, you have a certain duty of care to be responsible with how you carry yourself. By no means am I saying that these rappers, grime artists they're not raising children, of course, they're not, but they got a duty of care in how they carry themselves and what they do in the public eye.
Is that fair, though?
There are a lot of people watching them, a lot of youngsters watching them, especially for those that come from like ends. Like, it's tough.
Is it fair though? Essentially,
you assume that position when you're doing something that can influence a bunch of people. Naturally, you assume that position, whether you like it or not. So I think it being fair kind of goes out the window. When you put yourself in the public eye, unfortunately, you're kind of at the mercy of those that not only consume your music, but spectators.
But then that might like be a crutch to certain people because depending on what you do, let's say like a gangster rapper, for instance, like, and what they talk about. And then someone who listens to them, this is an extreme example, but if you're talking about gun clapping guys all the time and then one of your fans actually goes into like a bank or whatever and does a bank robbery and then that's linked back to you, is that then fair?
Now, art is art. You can express yourself in your art however you choose to. I'm also talking about outside of the music because...
Well, when they do stuff that's got nothing to do.
Yeah, because how you interpret somebody's art is going to be different from how I
100%.
take. So if you're listening to a rapper that talks about clapping, man, it might be different to how I'm receiving it.
100%.
You might not feel the urge to go out and clap someone. I might feel the urge to go out and clap someone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they got no control over that. But I'm also talking about what they do outside of the music and the responsibility that comes with how you act outside of the music. That's what I'm referring to.
True. I don't think they've got responsibility outside the music, though. I think we can't, whatever you do as a human being, outside doing anything flagrant, like other stuff, like I'm just talking about everyday life, like say you get to a fight or whatever. If they do that, I don't think we should ever look at them and be like, yo, you look bad. You've got people watching you. Like, so that's...
Yeah, because they're just living
An
their
artist is
life.
not here to parent your kid. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, an artist is not your kid. He's not here to parent your kid or she's not here to parent your kid. So if they're just going about life, like, for example, say they go on Insta and catch a guy and beat him up. I don't look at that as, oh, yo, you look crazy. Depends on the situation. What if the person tried to fight him and then they beat the person up? Is there anything wrong with that? So I don't, whether it's music or outside music, I've never looked at artists and think, yo, you need to be a role model or you need to do something accordingly. Yo, you're a human being. You're going to fuck up. You're going to make music. You're going to live your truth. That's got nothing to do with you and the way I perceive you.
But people will always hold, because you're a public figure, people will hold on to your fuck ups and will always
And I
use
don't
it
agree with that,
against
though.
you.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
Unless they do something flagrant, like I said. But if they've done other shit and I can't hold that against you. I don't have no moral high ground over other people.
A perfect example is we've all got little cousins. So like what we teach our little cousins, naturally, because we're older than them, they are going to assume us to be that lead figure and follow our lead.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is for a lot of these rappers and grime artists. Naturally, there are youngsters in the hood that are looking at a lot of their favorite artists and watching everything that they do. Now, I'm not saying that like
There's a difference.
no, I disagree with that.
There's a difference.
Bro.
You're
Like
talking about family,
Sai's little brother, Ozzy, like he watches a lot of what I do.
Yeah, but he physically knows you.
So what does that mean?
So then there's a difference between him knowing you, touching you, interacting with you. So therefore, I can
Bro,
see
we
why
all
you
listen
no,
to-
let me talk. I see why you feel there's a responsibility on the way you act to say his little cousin.
You didn't let me finish though.
But I can't.
The point I was making with that though is obviously because I'm older than him and because we have a close relationship, he naturally will look at me in a certain way. So I'm aware that obviously I'm going to live my life, I'm going to make certain mistakes, but I'm also aware that like there are certain things that I say to him and certain things that I do around him that will influence him. So that doesn't mean I'm still not going to make my mistakes, but it just means I'm aware of the responsibility that I have to somebody younger than me that's watching me.
Do you consider yourself a role model?
To him? Of sorts, yeah. Doesn't mean I'm not going to fuck up. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that these artists are not allowed to make their mistakes and fuck up and be human. But I'm just saying be aware of the fact that, millions and thousands of people are watching you. So there are certain things and there are certain pull that your words will have that a lot of these men are going to listen to. So if you're moving outside of the music with bare man holding straps, you don't think that's going to influence like a young group of lads in Peckham, Dulwich, Camberwell to maybe feel like, that's cool. Maybe I might do the
What
same.
if that's your life? As an artist? Like, what if that's your truth?
But also there could be in situations where
They need
that's
straps.
kind of uncontrollable. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My problem is when people attach a certain image onto someone, and then when they don't reach that image of being a role model, it's then a problem. Like they're not doing what they're meant to be doing. They're not doing their hard work and their duty of care. So then it becomes a little bit like unfair to the artist. So if you are about that life, if you do reflect a certain attitude or whatever, like is it fair to be considered a role model in a sense?
I think it comes down to you as an individual and understanding your higher purpose. I think when you've got a certain knowledge of self, you start looking at things a bit differently. So like, we always name this artist, but Jay-Z's a perfect example. I think he understands from early, I think he understood what he was here to do and what he was going to try and encourage within our community. Doesn't mean he weren't still going to fuck up and make certain mistakes, but I guess, especially with how he moves now, I think he's maybe more so aware how the whole of hip hop are watching him and looking at him. So there are certain things that he's going to do that a lot of people might follow and do as well. So I think he's very careful with the things that he puts out there and the things that he does as well.
He had to grow into that though.
That's what I'm saying. He made his mistakes.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, exactly. So, but we live in a society now where people aren't allowed to make mistakes. Otherwise,
I disagree with that.
you disagree.
No, I disagree with not being allowed to make mistakes.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, but we live in a society now where everyone lives out their lives under the microscope of millions of people. So when they do fuck up, they're not allowed to then be repentant. They're not allowed to change. They're not allowed to grow from that experience. Back in Jay-Z's day, when he was coming up, that they were afforded as much time as possible. And if they did fuck up, they did fuck up and, they improved their situation. But nowadays, you can say something maybe a little bit wild and you're quote unquote cancelled in a sense. So it's different now. The era is different to where it's probably a little bit more unfair now than it was back then for someone to be considered a role model, because essentially they're treading on thin ice. They can't do anything wrong. Because if they do, then people react a certain way. And yeah, it isn't necessarily like fair to them.
It's tough, isn't it? It is tough, and I do feel for him, but you assume that responsibility, man. I really think you do, man. There's a very thin line between, I guess, living your life and doing what you do, what you think is right, and I guess promoting that and understanding that other people are watching you
I
as
get
well.
what you mean, but I think
Like Rich is a great example. You don't think that Rich is aware that we look up to him or the things that he does around us can influence us? You don't think he's aware that he is a sort of role model to us?
Yeah, he 100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? So whether he likes it or not, because he's older than us and he's our brother, he is assuming that role. Doesn't mean he ain't gonna fuck up though.
But we're not the type of people to hold it against him anyway. Is Kodak Black really a role model? You know what I'm saying? Is NBA YoungBoy really a role model? I guess.
Does your age come into it as well then? Because you just named some artists that are really young.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, they're still considered role models to some people, whether it's their fans, whether it's rap commentators, someone, like you say, someone who's in the public eye, someone who has an influence, someone who has a clout, as it were, in the scene. Like, they're always going to be seen as a role model. But we know that they're problematic people. I don't know if NBA is, but Kodak clearly is.
NBA kind of is.
Kind of is. Yeah. All right, cool. So, is it then fair to put that on them? Because they are people from very abject environments, making a living, rapping, making money, and they're still going to fuck up in quite big ways. But I don't think
it's fair to put that pressure on them as well. I don't think it's fair to put.
You think across the board?
Yeah, just if you've come, say Chief Keef, for example, comes from Chicago, 16 years old, makes the biggest song in the world, has millions of people that are following him. You can't put a kid like that on just, there's a lot of people. You don't know any better. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's an age thing.
But how old, how long do you have to be in the game until, when's a fair time to, that's why I feel like across the board, I don't look at people like say, they have to be a role model, because then is there a time limit on from when they start blowing to where they get to that we can finally say, all right, we can look up to him. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
how soon into their music do we say, okay, now you can be a role model? Or is it straight from the get-go?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because then if it's not straight from the get-go, it can't be halfway. And if it's straight from the get-go, I don't think it's fair.
When you get to a position that you're influenced and you can influence people.
But you can influence people from your first song. Chief Keef was influenced.
Not if people don't listen. Not if people don't listen to him.
What?
Not if people don't listen to
people
him.
that listen to him. So Chief Keef's first song, Blue, had 1 million, 2, 3, 4 million people following him or whatever. He's 16 years old. He comes from Chicago. Do you think he cares about looking a certain
It's
way
different
to
with a Chief Keef though, because he wasn't putting much of his personal life out there. Like I said, I'm not talking about in the music.
So what you talk?
In the music, that's your art. Express your art the way you want to. Of course, I would like for artists to talk less about clapping, man. But
you're saying
I'm talking about outside the music and how you move outside the music.
Yeah, but my point is, say if you're 16 years old or 17 years old and you move reckless outside, you don't know any better. So therefore, is it fair that we look at this person at 17 and 18 and go, yeah, he's not a role model? But then do we wait till he's 25? Like, at what point do we say, they're just artists. We're not meant to be looking at these guys.
I think you associate being a role model with people who act like it. So you associate J. Cole with being a role model because he moves in a certain way that would suggest that.
Yeah.
Kendrick is the same. Jay-Z is the same.
That's the problem.
Conscious.
But then there's some people that are. But
that's a massive problem.
I think what Pete's saying is there are people that are the complete opposite that people still look up to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I think what Yemi just said is a massive problem.
What?
Us putting this role model on particular artists rather than putting it on everybody.
I don't think we should put it on
that
anybody.
goes back to what they say in their music and how they move outside the music. So it's kind of like a mixture of everything.
And I don't think we should put it on anybody. I don't think that responsibility is fair on anybody.
Unless they want it.
Yeah. Unless they physically, like Charles Barkley has a great quote.
I disagree with that,
Charles
man.
Barkley's got a great quote. He says, I'm not a role model. Because Charles Barkley flagged, I think he done something to a fan. And he said, I'm not a role model. Don't look, because they were like, you're a role model. How dare you do this? And he said, I'm not a role model. I'm just a human being that's unfortunately or fortunately in the public eye. By the end of the
then he would say that, but then he'd probably like pull up his young nephew and be like, yo, do this, do that, move
That's
that
'cause
way,
he
move
has
that way.
family.
Yeah, but
Whether you like it or
but
not,
the point is,
then it's different. I'll treat you lot differently to how I'll
But
treat
he's
someone at
grown
work.
to that, hasn't he?
bro,
Naturally, I'll treat you differently how I treat someone at work, right? Because I got more love for you.
then that's based on you and your perception and your mentality. For me, with where I am in life at the moment and how I'm continuing to grow, anytime I see a young black boy, I feel as though I'm a role model for them and I'm going to encourage them to do the best that they can in whatever they want to do. That's just me. So it also does come down to where you are in your life as well.
I get it. I think there's a
I agree
difference
with
between wanting.
Whether you want to or not.
but then-
I don't necessarily, it's a lot of responsibility. It's heavy on us.
Yeah.
I may not necessarily want it, but that's just the way it is, especially with like the way society is now. I think even more so we need more young black boys to come forth and attempt to be mentors and role models, which is why I'm assuming that. Doesn't mean I want that responsibility, but I
you
feel
feel
like
it's needed.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I'm not disagreeing with you, bro.
And I feel like artists should have the same sort of mentality.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying I feel like it's unfair to put that pressure on artists that don't want it.
Especially for young
It's
artists.
only
Young
unfair if you don't
artists
allow
aren't
them to make
coming into the game
mistakes.
What do you say?
It's only unfair if you don't allow them to make
100%.
mistakes.
100%.
Which is what it's leading to these days.
And also, like I said, when does it begin? When does the quote unquote role model begin? Do you see what I'm saying? When does that quote unquote you're now a role model start?
An artist who blows up at 16 should not be looked at.
No way, bruv. You're not even
because he's still young. He's still living out his life. B, he's still got mistakes to
That's
make.
my point.
He's still got to attain a knowledge of himself and where he's going as well.
So what? Do we wait till he's 25?
I mean, you wait.
You can attribute it to how you would in real life, though. When you get to a certain point,
Yeah.
you start
That's up
placing
to you.
certain responsibilities
That's
on just you, on people in
It's up
general.
to you. It's not up to them.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
That's
saying
what I'm
unless
saying
they want it, don't put that on them. That's
When
my
you
main
have
goal.
if you have a son, at what point are you going to say to him, "Yo, listen, you got to start"? If he's got younger brothers, at what point are you going to say to
I'll
him?
talk to my kid from the start about that kind of stuff. But I'm saying,
So from the jump, are you always going to be like, "Yo, you're a role model to your youngsters. You can't be doing
yeah,
this
yeah,
and the third."
naturally, say if I have a kid and he's got a younger brother, I'm naturally going to tell him like,
So
yo,
we can't apply that to artists as well.
no, I'm saying no, because that's different. That's family. The guy's literally looking up to you. I'm saying,
But if an artist is
no,
like 15,
but then
16,
that's my point. But then
why can't we
I'm
apply
also
that
going
to
to tell
them?
my kid, yo, don't look up to these man. That's my job as a parent.
But at what age are you going to start saying to your son, if you have a son and you've got a younger child, "Yo, he looks up to you. You need to make sure you're doing this, that, and
The
the
minute
third."
he's clued on, whenever that be,
Give me your age,
No,
roughly.
it depends on.
But that's
A
then up to
12-year-old could be clued on more than a 15-year-old. Do you know what I'm saying? Just depends on when I.
Yeah,
feel
but just
like-
for argument's sake,
just for argument's sake, say year 7,
wait, how old are we in year 7?
13,
11.
14.
11.
Oh, never mind. Then.
11, 12.
Yeah, 13, 14.
13, 14. So with that argument, very loosely, I don't think it's that far-fetched to say
there's
to
a
a
difference, though.
16-year-old rapper or 17-year-old
There's a
rapper like,
difference,
"Yo,
though. No.
you've got people watching you. Be careful with how you move."
No,
I don't
'cause
think
that's
there's anything
not
wrong
his
with that.
responsibility.
It doesn't mean that like he has to be like, fucking nailed to the cross for every mistake he makes in public.
But it's
No.
not his responsibility.
In theory,
Why?
Because he's 16.
In theory, you're
His
So
probably
what? When you're 16, you don't know right from wrong?
Bruv,
No, in
at
theory, you're
16,
probably right,
You're
but
not
it
responsible
depends.
for 3 million people watching what you're doing.
Bruv, I'm not saying that he can't make mistakes, but
So move
Pete, it
accordingly.
depends.
if you're 16, 17, why the fuck can we not hold these men? Why?
It depends because it depends on the artist is being put into the limelight very, very early. Being 16 and being in the limelight, being the talk of the town in the rap game or whatever, is daunting. So they've got to grow through that. And obviously, in the case of Chief Keef, he didn't have the best upbringing, did he? He probably didn't have a lot of role models.
wait.
He didn't have a lot of role
No
models
way,
in
this
his
guy's
life.
from
So
Chicago,
he probably
fam.
doesn't even understand the notion of being a role model. And then he's thrust into the spotlight. So it very much depends on a person's situation. In your example of Mo's child, he's already in a loving,
Allegedly, because Mo has no kids.
allegedly, sorry.
But I'm not.
I'm just saying, man. I'm clearing your name out there. You know what I'm
Thank you
saying?
very much, because I weren't going to clear shit.
But he would be in a loving, caring situation, whereas someone like a Chief Keef, someone like a Kodak Black, who we know have had problems growing up and stuff, and then they're given this, they have this musical talent, and then they're brought to a certain level, and then they're expected to be role models when they're still just trying to learn about themselves.
Yeah, fine.
I think it's different, man, because the big difference being like Mo's alleged child is not going to be in the spotlight. He's not going to be doing press interviews every flipping second of every day, talking about what it means to be a role model and stuff. He's going to have the opportunity to learn from someone that he looks up to, whereas Chief Keef might not necessarily. And then he's being asked to be one. He doesn't even know how to himself.
Yeah.
So it is different. Like if you're going to be a rapper or if you're going to be like,
But that's assuming
public
that
figure.
someone like a Chief Keef doesn't have people that he looks up to, though. That's under that assumption.
That's under the
What if
assumption.
he has had people that he's looked up to that have mentored him? Is it then too much to say, yo, cool, I've done this for you. Bear in mind, all right, cool, you're 19, 20 years of age now. You're a rapper, you're a superstar. You got bare people watching.
Yeah,
you.
but it depends on it depends on how you grow up as well, though, innit? If he had that, then yeah. But if he never, then
But also, even if he did have that, he might just want to while out.
Of course.
No,
We've
he's saying
made
you can make
mistakes. We've
mistakes,
had
yeah.
Rich our whole life and our sister. We've made mistakes. Obviously, it's not to their standard because we're not superstars, innit?
catch your bodies from.
And we're not superstars, but I'm kind of trying to link it because I don't think it's that far off.
I think it's a lot.
I
Fam.
know, I hear you.
I know being an artist is way more difficult. How you adapt to like, millions of people watching you compared to like, just, being a local, just being in your neighborhood is very different. And I can't even begin to like comprehend that. But I think the responsibility still might be the same though.
Fair enough. I just think everything changes once you are a public figure. Because even though in theory they probably should turn on that role model hat a little bit more when they are a public figure, it also creates this expectation. And when you don't meet that expectation, it gets a bit sticky for them. So it's a tightrope. So even if in theory they probably are role models, it isn't always fair to class them as such because of their come up, how they came up in the game, like how their upbringing and stuff like that, and just their general views on life and their general views on themselves. So to just blanketly call everyone that is a public figure or role model, I don't think is
fair.
Yeah. I've said
That's a good point.
I've said fair a lot in this segment, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think it. I agree with you. Maybe it's just because the way I view it. I've never looked at our eyes. I think you're a role model. So maybe
I didn't used to, but I think the older I get, I am understanding that there are artists that say certain things that can be quite irresponsible and can affect and influence people. But where I'm seeing the reaction to a lot of irresponsible things that are done and said, that's when I'm deep in, oh shit, you lot actually like have power. You lot actually influence people. You lot actually have bare people like watching you, man.
Fair enough, give you.
You kind of have to be careful with what comes out your mouth now. So whether you like it or not, you might low-key be that of, a role model to certain people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow you, but
for us, for someone like me, like I don't hold certain artists to certain standards just because of disappointment. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one.
My role model's never been.
I'm still figuring it out. But yeah.
Like my role model's always just only role model I think I've ever had was me, Malcolm X, but that's outside music.
Because even with this argument, it comes back to why people were vexed at Kanye, why people were vexed at some people.
I don't think that's a role.
You don't think that's a role model thing?
I think the reason why people vexed at Kanye is because just who he aligned himself with. That could have been Ed.
Okay, so but that comes down to his responsibility or irresponsibility with certain things that he does and says, and that's because of the community that he.
Role model.
No, I'm not saying. My annoyance with him wasn't because he was my role model. It was just more. It didn't align with your music.
Fair enough.
With Kanye, I looked for him for certain things. In a lot of my artists that are like that make me feel good, I look for inspiration sometimes. So I don't know if that's a role model. I don't know, but I look to certain artists.
But it's evident by the music you listen to as well.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it might be a me thing. I don't know.
Fair enough. Like I listen to street music. I'm not gonna get a strap. The majority of my favorite rappers are hood.
But do you internalize the lyrics like that?
No, I love it.
There you go.
Some people do though.
Yeah, but then that's not their fault. They're just living their truth.
You talking about
the artists that spit about whatever they. But we've agreed here that in music is you're allowed to rap, right or no?
Art is art.
Art is art. So I'm just saying, like, yeah,
it's all. But art is art until people realize that art and then blame it on the artist.
What do you mean?
I mean, if someone is going to rap about gun clapping and then someone actually claps up, I don't know, like a corner shop, and then he says, I don't know, he had NBA Youngboy in his iPod before he did it.
It's not NBA Youngboy's fault.
But he would be... he
would be, but we know that's not his fault. Yeah, but we know that's not his fault.
But people would.
Yeah, but that's like drill now.
Yeah.
A lot of the young staff is getting building from drill, but I don't think it's got nothing to do with that.
We don't, but people do.
Fair enough.
And my main point is people shouldn't have such high expectations of people unless they want to be. That's all.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, man.
Shout out to J. Cole.
Just be the best.
I haven't done it in a while.
Just be the best you can be, man.
It's literally that, innit?
Yeah, man. Just do what you can and be the best you can be.
Feel that. Well, thanks for answering the question, guys. Much appreciated.
Did we answer it?
He did. You said yes.
To a degree.
Yes, to a degree. The asterisks.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we're going to move on to the final topic. Mo, would you like to explain it? Since it was your bright idea.
I'm going to butcher explaining it. But basically, it was last week was the NBA All-Star game. And then just courtside, there was a lot of musicians. So it got me thinking, like, no, honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but it got me to thinking, like, it got me thinking, what's the basketball equivalent?
Would they get you
of, like,
contemplating?
rappers? Yeah, I was here just twiddling my thumbs thinking.
You had a wonder.
As some
Mo
might call
twiddling
it.
his thumbs is wild.
As some might
image,
call
innit?
it.
Don't ever tell me about twiddling your thumbs again, bro.
This is what happens. Can I just say to the listeners, this is what happens every day, fam. I say something in the group and the D's don't gang up on me, but that's neither here nor there, fam. Now we know
gang up on each other.
One has admitted he's a villain. That's the one of person here is a sarcastic bastard, fam, and doesn't embrace it. But anyway,
Do you know what's mad? I'm really embracing this villain role though.
At least you
even
know
on
it.
Twitter.
No, you are. Oh yeah, you definitely.
I tweeted something about Eminem. Yeah, yo, I loved it. I'm so proud.
No, you're legit a villain. Because I
And
can
then
imagine
Yemi
him like
commented
this.
and I
He's like,
knew.
Eminem.
When Yemi commented, I cackled to myself as well.
You cackled?
And I was in darkness.
Don't ever tell me you
Don't ever tell me you
Don't ever tell me you cackled.
I was in
But
darkness too.
Anyway, just quickly. So
Your fault.
You're
You got
mad.
white-
This
you got
guy.
white cat as well.
Man, so we say the lights were off. Say that again.
No, don't tell him to say it again, bro. Come on, relax.
Even though the hammer was anyway, so basically, yeah, I was watching that, and I just started thinking the basketball equivalent of rappers, just because there was a few there. Like Quavo was there, Cardi was. I was thinking, they were basketball players. Who would they be? So with us being in the UK, I thought if you had to make an equivalent of a footballer to a rapper, what would it be, and why, and who? Make sense?
Yes.
100%. What explained?
I try, King. I try. You could go first.
May I go
You're-
first?
You're in a hurry.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
This was a difficult one for me, man. Because I know you initially said we should list 5 rappers, but I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I started off with Dave, and I was thinking, who's the equivalent? Who's the footballing equivalent of Dave? And I first thought Raheem Sterling. But then the more I thought about it, the more I kind of talked myself out of it. The reason why I initially thought that was because they're both young, they're both black, they're both... Sterling's a bit older than Dave, but they're both performing to a very high level at the moment. Sterling's won the Prem. He's won a couple of prestigious personal awards. They've just come off the back of winning Mercury last year and then Brit Awards. So I was thinking, all right, cool. Those two are...
That's a good one.
That's checked off. They both kind of speak out about, societal issues, racial issues. So I was like, all right, cool. That's a small link there. Then I stopped and I was like, all right, yeah, this might be a bit of a stretch. I can't do it.
Nice fits.
Yeah, but I thought that maybe there was more, but I had no more after that. So I was like, yeah, no, it doesn't. I'm not going to do that. So then I started thinking about more. And then big up Jesse Bernard. Like, I was reading his article on the movement on Trench. And he was talking about each member and he was using a football analogy. And then he said Gets was a winger. So I was like...
What winger?
So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I think I can go with that. Then I started thinking about wingers in my head and I was like, Robin. I was like, Ian, Robin. That might be a nice little link. So, I felt as though both had the ability to perform to a very high level anywhere. Whether it's Gets on a, slow tempo type of song, such as like Me and You with Scorcher, or, whether it's on a faster paced tune on like a song like, Top 3 Selected. I was thinking, all right, cool, that works. And then with like Robin, with him being able to play on the right wing, on the left wing, when he was at Chelsea, he was switching back and forth with Damien Duff. So I was like, all right, cool. And I think
Damien Duff.
and I think when he was at Bayern Munich, he was kind of doing the same as well. So I was like, all right, cool, that's checked off. And I was like, both are very technically gifted. He gets with his ability to, just his rhyming patterns, his syllables. It's not easy to do what he does. And then like Robin with his ability to just control the ball, whether it's on the left side of the field, whether it's on the right side of the field. So I was like, all right, cool, that's checked off as well. Although Robin has way more accolades than Gets, I thought that the way Gets is revered by his peers, by everybody, every cultural critic, might be a bit of a reach, but it might be akin to Robin's titles that he's won. You could say, because I think every grime artist or every artist aims to be like revered by their peers, innit? So I was like, all right, cool, you know what? I'm gonna try and do that one. And yeah, both have showed like incredible consistency over their careers, man. Both had extremely long careers. Robin has stopped now, Gets is still going. Yeah, man. And both,
I like it.
Yeah, man. Both have, had the ability to adapt to their game as well. With Robin, he started off on the wings.
Tell Peter wrote this down.
Yeah, of course.
I like it though. No, but I like it.
Robin with the ability to switch from playing on the wings to playing just off the striker in, the later stages of his career.
Or talk that football shit.
And then, Gets his ability to, switch up his content as time has gone on. At the beginning, he was very aggressive, very rapid with his flow. But as he's gone on, I feel like he's matured and he started talking about more like real human shit. So yeah, that's why, I compared
like it.
Gets to Robin.
I like it.
Nice.
Shall I go?
Thank you very much.
I can go next.
I hope you ain't got one that I do. What continue?
I've got a couple. I mean, they're probably all reaches, but I think I'm going to say Sadio Mane is equivalent to Jay Huss. The reason why I say that is I think Mane is the most dynamic player in the league as far as what he can do with the ball, his scoring ability, all round just a great footballer with a little bit of flair for the excitement and all that. And I feel like Huss is the equivalent in the music scene. I think he's the most dynamic musician that we've got in the UK. His last 2 albums have proved that. He has flair, he has, a bit of arrogance to him. And also that's grounded by a little bit of humbleness as well when sometimes he raps. Always striving to be better as Mane is as well. And Mane's come a long way, as has Huss. So that's more or less my first one.
And they're from the same ends, I think.
Nah.
Where's Sadio Mane from?
Senegal.
Where's
And
Huss from?
Gambia.
Oh, Gambia's in Senegal also.
Oh yeah, true. It's kind of near it anyway. The next one is a fun one. I'm going to say Jamie Vardy.
Oh, here we go. Eminem.
Jamie Vardy.
No, I
Was
was
she gone Kelly?
No, I was going to say H. Mainly because they're both white boys popping.
Sorry. I love it though.
So, look. H is the pop boy. Vardy is the top goal scorer in the league. 2
Is he?
popping white boys. Yes. He's got 17.
Yeah. Aubameyang's
So-
got 15.
Who?
Aubameyang.
We didn't ask for that. But
I just got that who's because you heard me, innit?
yeah, facts. So yeah, 2 white boys popping. I said Kevin De Bruyne is J. Cole mainly because De Bruyne is the assist king in the league right now. J. Cole had an amazing 2018/2019 doing features.
Yep.
So you could equate him to being an assist king as well.
And he had Revenge of the Dreamers.
Okay, all right.
And he had Revenge of
I
the
see
Dreamers
that.
as well. So
I like it.
De Bruyne is very much like the guy to supply the balls. Cole has proven that he could do that too. So I think they hold the same kind of authority in the game.
When you said assist, I was thinking production, but then Cole don't produce anything good for other people. So I was like,
High power. High power would like to have a conversation.
oh, 10 years ago.
In 2011.
Yeah, that's right. You better look down.
Or you could have
You
seen
guys
that
won.
face, bro.
I'm sorry, you guys won. I can't say shit to that. That was about 10 years ago, fam. Shit.
His best beat. It's mad. And my last one,
Oh, you got a few.
Cristiano Ronaldo. This might be an obvious one, but Cristiano Ronaldo, Drake, because
Yeah.
the flashiest, one of the most successful, breaking records all the time. Like CR7's like going to be 35 this year, and he's like the Champions League's top goal scorer. He's like going to be Portugal's top. I think he's Portugal's top goal scorer. He's going to be their top cap holder. Drake continues to break records as well. They're both machines. They're both cheat codes. And yeah, I just think it made sense.
Okay.
That's me.
I respect that. I had a few. I had the Drake and Cristiano Ronaldo one.
That's it.
I got another one.
Great minds.
I got French Montana.
Oh boy.
And I got Adele Tarapt. Okay. So I've got French Montana. And
They're both from the same ends as well,
They're
right?
from the same country.
That was a good one.
Adele Tarapt had a great season.
Adele Tarapt.
Yep. I've got another one. Now, the footballer's Thierry Henry. And let me just put in context the reason why I'm saying this. Henry had a great 8 seasons. So you can say this person's career for the first 8 years was on point. When Henry became a captain, he was a shit captain, so this guy can't EP. And if you ask an Henry fan, Henry's the best player of all time. And when you ask this rapper his fans, he's the greatest rapper of all time.
Okay, yeah.
Henry and Nas.
Yeah, that,
If you don't think that fits, I'm bugging.
You did that. No, you did that just so you can say he don't EP the shit.
that was
Yeah.
good.
Wait, that doesn't it fit though?
Dickhead.
Doesn't it fit?
Yeah.
Henry,
It's a good
Henry
fit.
first 8 years banged, got one, and he never won that award.
I don't know if
himself.
Nas'
because
first
think
8
about it.
years, though.
Not first 8 years, but I'm just talking. Henry banged for more than 8 years. I'm just saying it for the hypothetical.
yeah.
But I'm saying Henry never won a Ballon d'Or. Nas never won a Grammy.
Okay.
But they both had, but at their peak were unplayable, and they both should have won the award. Yeah, so
like
they-
that.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
Next one I've got is Vissa Ricky Diaby.
So who?
Vissa Ricky Diaby.
Vissa Ricky Diaby.
Yeah, Diaby.
Oh, right. Abu.
Abu Diaby. But his
Why
name
you gotta
is
say
Vissa-
the full?
Why are you extra?
Why you gotta say the full thing?
I actually don't know why I said Vissa Ricky.
Only football manager people know know that. You know
No,
what I'm
because
saying?
Diaby. Anyway, let me get to my point. Now, Diaby never played a full season at Arsenal. He played a full season.
crazy.
No, he played a full season, and then some bastard at Sunderland broke his leg. Oh, that guy's homeless now.
Was that Lee Campbell?
Nah, not Lee Campbell. Lee Campbell, no, it's another. He's a
a
useless player. But Diaby, so Diaby never played a full season. but we all knew what DRB was capable of. DRB, if you're also an Arsenal fan, DRB was going to be better than Vieira. He had that kind of talent.
Don't ask a Liverpool
Why do I
fan.
feel like you're going to say something wild?
Now, let me talk.
Are they UK?
Nah.
Okay.
So, my point is, so DRB never gave us a full season, equivalent to not giving us an album. But we all knew his talent, which was otherworldly. This rapper's talent is otherworldly. So I've got DRB and I've got J Electronica.
That's good.
And they're both Muslim. I'm sick of this game, fam.
I thought you were going to say Ice Kid. For some reason.
No. But that because DRB's talent was that good and J Electronica's that good, but one never gave us a full season, the other never gave us an album. But when I told you DRB never gave us a full season, you see the way you lot were shocked. Because you knew how good DRB was. DRB battered you lot one game at Anfield when we won 2-1.
Yeah, let's relax.
Sorry. I take it too far sometimes.
Yes.
Now, last one I've got is Steven Gerrard.
Oh, Lord.
And the reason why I've got Steven Gerrard slipped. And Gunplay slipped one day against 50 Cent. When 50 Cent was chasing him, Gunplay slipped at the BET Awards.
Wait.
Your move, bro.
Wait.
So I've got Gunplay and I've got Steven Gerrard.
How in the fuck is Gunplay Steven Gerrard?
Just because of the slip. But yeah, that's what I've got. So I've got Adel
You're a
Taarabt.
wild guy, man.
No, so I had Adel Taarabt, I've got French Montana, Mr. Ricky and J Electronica, and Nas and Henri.
You've given us some real flashbacks, man. DRB, Taarabt.
Taarabt,
you know.
I just started laughing when I
Gunplay.
thought. Nah, legit, I started laughing when I thought of the Taarabt one.
Gunplay, man. Promise so much.
He really did, innit? No, I know who Gunplay is. Balotelli.
Ooh.
Yeah, both could get out their own way.
And they were both.
And
They both showed they were unplayable.
Gunplay had the best first on Power Circle.
Had the best verse on cartoons and cereal, too.
Yeah. And then Balotelli had a great season at Man City. And then went to Liverpool and it all went downhill.
I reckon if Gunplay dropped an amazing album off the back of all that, we'd still be talking about him now.
Yeah, but my point, yeah.
For better reasons.
Yeah, so Balotelli and Gunplay would be my correlation. Because they both couldn't get out of each other's way.
Vessa Ricky DRB.
So there we go, guys.
Okay.
Well, that was great.
I thought we done all right.
Yeah,
That was good. That was good. Not too many reaches, I guess.
Nah.
We all explained ourselves pretty.
I don't think there was any reach, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And it is all America.
The Dave one really worked for you, by the way. I don't know why you should just run with it. I think it worked.
I don't know. I feel like I needed a bit more. I feel like they're in different parts of their career as well.
But it works. I get your...
Yeah.
I don't think the age difference is even that crazy.
Because I don't think Dave's in his prime yet. Whereas
Sterling's not in his prime.
Sterling is getting there though. He's 25. I think you're in your prime like 27, 28.
For a winger, yeah.
Yeah. So he still ain't reached it yet.
But Dave ain't nowhere near though.
But
Dave's
then
like...
Robin wasn't at his peak at that age either.
Who?
Robin.
Yeah.
But musicians different. You can reach your peak early. You don't know when you... It's no age
Nah, I
limit.
disagree with that.
There's
Man.
no limit on age limits when it
Bro,
comes to
Stevie
musicians.
Wonder was like... He was...
No, but you're talking about the GOATs. I'm saying with musicians, I don't think there's an age limit to your peak.
No, but there's an
Your peak
album.
could be
Yeah,
the
but there's
first-
an album period though. Jay weren't in his prime until
Dave could-
Blueprint.
Dave could
that was
be-
like 10
yeah.
years after he...
When was Nas in his prime?
Lyrically,
Yeah.
it was written times. Illmatic, it was written times.
That was early.
Yeah, but that's one person.
But Dave's there now. I'm not saying Dave's not in his prime, by the way. I'm just
I
saying,
don't think Dave's in his prime.
I'm not saying he's in his prime, but I'm saying I like the Sterling because I wouldn't take prime into it when it comes to musicians because your prime could be at any point.
Yeah. I was
Some
thinking
people
about...
say Cole's prime was 4 years old and Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I thought maybe I was thinking about Old Dirty Bastard, yeah, and I was trying to think.
Here
I
we
was trying
go.
to find a footballing equivalent, but I couldn't think of one.
There's no
I've got one actually.
Style.
I've got one. Ed Davis because of his glasses and MF Doom.
You got to explain that one, bro.
You both couldn't see their
Nah.
face. You couldn't see their face fully.
What's wrong with this guy?
And Ed Davis.
No, surely
No,
surely Petr Cech would be MF Doom.
No, because he had a helmet. The other guy had glasses, and one was black.
Doom had a mask.
Yeah, but Ed Davis was black.
And glasses.
But Ed Davis was black.
All right, cool. Wow.
And Ed Davis had Clarence Seedorf next to him. MF Doom should have had someone next to him.
He had Madlib for a bit.
Again, he should have had someone next to him.
Shut up. This guy, man. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap up. So yeah, thanks very much for listening to us once again on our 25th
Thank you for the
episode.
love.
Yes, on our 25th episode, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Here's
Yep.
to another 25, and then the next 25,
God
and the next
willing,
25.
God willing.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
don't be surprised if you hear Yemi smelt Jorja Swift.
it's going to be a running joke. It's going to be a running joke.
What, you smelling Jorja Swift? You got that right.
From
Yo,
the
Mo,
last
whose
episode.
neck would you want to smell?
Yo.
Neck? Nah, no one. Do you know what it's from your neck? You're a freak, fam. Nah, fam.
I just like to make it perfectly clear, I did not sniff Jorja's
You
neck.
definitely
sniffed the neck.
You definitely sniffed her neck.
How you telling me what
Yo,
I
you
did?
definitely sniffed her neck.
I did not sniff her
sniffed
neck.
her neck. You definitely sniffed her
did
neck.
not sniff her neck.
And you done the rocks emotions as well.
I didn't do all that.
You freak.
I didn't do all that. I didn't do all that.
Absolute freak. And you,
Yo, that's what The Rock used to say to Jonathan Coachman. You sick freak.
I hope you know you smelt a woman's neck without her knowing. You absolute undivided.
Until next time,
unmitigated
people.
Freak. You absolute
Take
freak.
care.
You unmitigated.
Stay
freak.
safe.
You know.
Don't shine a light on me, you dickhead.
You know barrier having freak.
Goodbye.
You know limit Master P freak.
That is funny, man. Oh, that's hilarious, man.
I would have smelled her neck.